It's SimsPlayer325 back with another video. That's what we're going to be doing today, building a modern, beautiful home. It's called 242 Tompkins Way is what we named it. So this is a two-story house that I saw. I actually built it, was inspired by a photograph that I found of a similar home to this. And I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, ooh, I think I could make that with platforms. So that's kind of what I did. Was I used platforms to kind of create the sides and the top of the build, the like flat roof and stuff. So here we are. We're getting the shape down. We're trying to get everything all settled and done. I am putting up some railing and things like that on the sides there. And then I'm going to probably next, delete the bottom half there. And then create the bottom portion of the home. It's kind of an indoor-outdoor floor plan, which I liked because it looked really neat in the photos that I was looking at. It didn't show like what the actual interior looked like. It just showed like the exterior. But it was really pretty, and so I decided to do it this way. With the indoor-outdoor floor plan and just give it the same features that the build on photo I found looked like. So that's what I did. So here you'll see me kind of editing the space and figuring out how things go and messing with where it's sitting. And I think I ended up moving this building like 3 times throughout the video. I think I deleted one of them. I actually sat here for like 20 minutes looking at every single fence before I finally decided on one. Tends to be a little bit of an issue for me to like sit and like play with stuff. So I think that for that reason, it's part of the reason why my build videos are so long. Also, I think it's that I tend to just take forever. I have a general shape, but I can't ever get things exactly, and so it always takes me forever, and I'm not very good at cutting down the video. I do my best, but it's just not, it's not pro. I'm not a pro, not at all. Not a pro YouTuber here. So right here you'll see me put down some stuff, and I actually sped that up to like 1,000% because I was like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. This video is already so long. And I really only had 2 hours of footage to like cut down, and like most of it was like stuff I needed to get rid of anyway. So I don't know how I ended up with 40 minutes. The only thing I can think of is I didn't speed it up as fast as I did my last video. So I guess that's probably why. And that horrible creaking sound that you'll hear every few minutes is my horrible chair that needs to be replaced that I keep saying I'm going to replace and haven't done yet. So I apologize for the creaking sound. Haven't learned yet how to pull that out of the audio. Eventually I will learn these things. I've been watching lots of tutorials in order to figure out how to just kind of streamline editing and work on transitioning some of the choppier spots and things like that. That's kind of what I've been watching lately. And also, you know, how to do certain things. Okay, back to the build. So I decided to go kind of around the corner in the front. They had like a little pathway beside the house, and I liked the way that looked. So I ended up recreating that in a way. And then I ended up jumping back to the backyard again. Because again, we know how I am. I will, you know, always jump from one area to another. So I did like the gate, and then I came back up here and started doing the flowers and messed with these for like forever, and cut a lot of this out, but I see I should have cut more, a lot more, but I am so tired of editing at this point that I just want to get this video done, so I apologize for that. That was about 10 seconds I could have cut out. But anywho, 10 seconds, not that big a deal. Anyways, thinking I might actually speed up some other parts and maybe figure out some other ways to kind of eliminate some of the stuff in the video. But here I'm putting down kind of a little, my thought was there would be like a little area where they would park, and that, you know, you would have your like trash cans and your mailbox and stuff. And so I ended up putting that here. I actually end up moving the mailbox later on. And if you download the build, you'll see where I actually moved the mailbox. When I do this little fence portion I'm going to do in a second, you'll see that I actually ended up moving it onto the exterior of that little fence thing there. That little brown fence that's like a little, I don't know what you'd call that, like a little garden fence, I guess. I actually end up moving it where, in that little spot right there at the front. There I was just messing with the terrain, trying to cover up where I did the other terrain. Here I was using windows to make kind of a railing because I didn't want to use a fence because I didn't like any of the fences. They weren't low enough to make what I was looking at in the video because it was glass. I mean, not the video, but the photograph, sorry. So that took me forever, and I cut most of doing that out because it was just a nightmare to get those to sit right on that platform. Anyways, so then I started putting in the plants, ended up going with the long ones that you put like up against the house because those ended up looking the best, with some others for kind of like the stuff that comes off that you'll see later. I don't do that here. I think I do that much later. Also, that portion on the end there was a portion that was in the other build. Is a really thick area of concrete, or well, I guess it was bricks, which is what I ended up coloring it as on the other end there. Right there, you see me putting the last of the little foliage on there, and then you see me putting this pretty plant. I wanted something that kind of stood out and was like flowery. So that's the reason I ended up going with that, because it looked really pretty and kind of, interesting. And then I had a hard time with this area here because it didn't look right on the other side. And I was like, ew, this looks gross. So I ended up fixing that with the little planter that I put there on the other side to kind of hide the really weird looking area. And then I put those other plants up there to kind of hang over the sides to give it a little bit of extra, and I cut most of that out. Here you'll see me putting in the stairs. I actually created those stairs beside them and then put them in and then cut that out as well. I also went ahead and put in the bathroom, and I was only going to do a 2-tile bathroom. But when I get to the front of the house, I realize, oh shoot, this looks horrible. It's just like a box. So I ended up pulling that area out and making that bathroom a little bit bigger. Here I'm doing the master bedroom, trying to figure out sizing and how I want it to look. This is the master bath bedroom. So I ended up doing it like a little bit interesting. And then I realized that the platform was there and I needed some stairs. So I ended up putting the same stairs that I have going up to the upper portion of there, right up to the little patio there that's out there, where I ended up putting like a little seating area and some other stuff. Anyways, we go back down. Imagine that. We went back down. Oh, no, we didn't. Maybe we didn't. Just kidding. We went back up to this area here. And then we went down to the kitchen and started the kitchen because, of course, we couldn't finish the upper portion before we went back to the kitchen. No, that's not how that works. So here I am finding some Parenthood countertops, which I put in, and I ended up loving. They're very cute, and I put this little stove. I was so hard not to use my custom content, which is in my game, because I'm trying to build without custom content as much as possible, but I really love CC. Like, it is my jam. And so I tend to really love the options that it gives you, especially for clutter and like just aesthetics. I mean, the difference is humongous. And when you see me do a CC build, you'll see that. The only thing is that, and part of the reason why I haven't done it yet, is because I hate listing CC. I really, truly hate listing CC because 95% of the time I've used 20 different people as custom content and have pulled clutter from everywhere you could imagine. here I matched the cabinets to the countertops that I had already put in, and just kind of put them in, kind of played around with the different styles and the different shapes and stuff. Ended up putting in a nice counter there, and then started to work on putting in like the range hood and trying to get the countertop, because I wanted like a little island where the Sims could sit indoors, even though I end up making the main dining area outdoors, just because I felt like, if you were eating breakfast, you wouldn't want to do it out, on your patio. You'd do it, in your kitchen, because it would typically be something you were doing quick, and, just, you wouldn't want to do that outside. And I so hate these countertops. Like, I don't understand why they put those stupid doors on the wrong side of those counters. Like, the Sims team has, like, no sense sometimes. They do some stupid stuff. Like, there's so much stuff that's just in general should be in the game that isn't, like light switches. I mean, how hard would it be to add a freaking light switch? Even if it's just, like, freaking fake. Like, just give me a light switch so I can, like, pretend like I'm turning on my lights. I don't need to actually be functional. I just want to have it, Anyways, this door really annoyed me. I wanted this big door, but then I just couldn't make it work. I ended up going with a much smaller door, the same one that I used on the patio upstairs. Later I'll delete this and get rid of it. And then this brown color was kind of inspired by the build I was looking at, because that's the color of one of the walls. And that warm chocolate color just was so beautiful to me. I felt like I really liked that with the light cream tan brick work that I end up doing. I actually don't end up using that particular brick. I actually end up using the one that came with the kit. But you could replace it with that one if you don't have the kits. I know those were kind of a controversial thing that a lot of people didn't do them. But I have all that in my game because I'm like a Sims addict, and I have every single expansion pack except for 2. Which is ridiculous and expensive, but I got a really good deal around Christmas. But anywho, so then I put in some lighting and started to kind of get that patio area done, and then got bored and went upstairs because that's who I am. That's how I build. I decided that I was in the lighting, I might as well put lighting upstairs too, and then I ended up doing the walls up there. And I think I actually end up going back down before I start actually decorating that area. I don't think I actually decorate. I don't remember. Anyways, so there's me finding that one from the kit and liking it the best, and ended up putting it all over the house where the stuff wasn't brown. Oh, this is where I actually start editing the front of the house, actually. Yeah, I found this really pretty door that I really liked, this door here. And then I pulled out those sections of the house there to kind of give it something, because it needed some kind of depth, because it was really not cool looking. And then in order to give it more depth, I actually pull back that window right there, that area right there, to kind of create this like area there. And then I realized that this was hanging over and it was causing a really weird shadow, so I actually ended up getting rid of that and pulling that platform back, and then creating 2 little platforms to kind of take over that area, just because otherwise it wouldn't work and it looked funky. Then I decided that I would put this thing on, I said these flowers on that. I actually end up deleting those flowers later because they just don't work there, even once I put the other type of stuff. And then I changed the roofing a couple of times to a couple of different colors, and ended up going with like a really concrete block kind of color, with the same marble edging that I had from before. And then there's me editing that. And then you'll see me putting in the windows. I liked that little bay of windows with it kind of recessed. I really thought that looked cool. Then I started putting up the flowers up here, and I think I do that for like forever. I probably spent 45 minutes getting those up there and not clipping, because again, I hate clipping. I really wish you could like make things just like turn on something that would just make things not clip. That'd be great. That would be so perfect. But again, the Sims team hates us. So anyway, so I end up putting all these windows, and I just kind of end up throwing them in there. I end up like deleting a bunch of them at some point, just because I end up putting them down there at the bottom, but I didn't really I wanted that space to be kind of not really have any windows, so I actually end up taking out those two bottom windows. So I'm sure that side does not look very attractive. And I also take out the bottom windows on that front portion there where the bathroom is. And then end up doing the chocolate color a little bit less. Instead of having it be so much of the front of the build, end up doing just a little bit to kind of accent the brick. And here's me putting in that color there, that smaller door. And kind of cutting out some of the stuff and then putting in the little lounge area. I started off with that white TV, and then I realized that thing's sticking like a mile from the freaking wall. It looked horrible, and that's why I fixed it. I was like, no, this is unacceptable. If I turn my camera and I see this, I'm going to be annoyed. So I didn't really make this for any of my Sims. I kind of just made this build for other people, but I get really particular about stuff. And then I start like going, no, I wouldn't want that in my build, and then I delete it. So, you know, it is what it is. Anywho, so now I'm back down to the bottom, and I am trying out my custom content again, and like so wanting to put it in my game, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I even actually take out some custom content and put it out and then go, no, I can't really do this custom content because I'll have to link it, and I hate linking things. So anyways, Sim Credible is the person who made that, and she is pretty amazing. She does great plant custom content, and if you do custom content in your game, I definitely recommend her because hello, the most amazing plants that anybody I've seen do plants. She does these awesome plants. Anywho, back to the build. So then I put in this rug, and I didn't like it very much. I ended up going, I started playing with custom again, but I ended up going with this one just because I felt like it fit the kind of aesthetic. It's very modern kind of rug, and then I ended up putting a photograph down here with a little table, and I was looking for a bookshelf, but I couldn't really find one that I liked. I also played around with the different tables and ended up going with a very modern table because I felt like, and kind of modern chairs from the new one that Modders made, because hello, they are amazing pieces of custom content inside the game, which is awesome. So the Sims team should really do more of that, like getting with them to kind of try and create better content for the Sims, because modders really make our day. If you've ever modded your game, you will realize the difference between non-modded modded content is like crazy ridiculous. I didn't realize until a couple years ago when my son really got me into it. I guess it was probably close to the beginning of the year, last year, that I started modding my game. And then now look at me making Sims videos and making my own custom content. Wow, how the world does change. Anyway, so I end up moving that bookshelf indoors and over there in that corner, and then I was like, I don't really like it. So again, I kind of just copied the brick and the brown into the home to kind of give it a kind of that same aesthetic, and to kind of keep the color scheme the same. Kind of keep that throughout the home, and just do kind of browns and those like pale tones there throughout. And yep, there's me deleting the windows. So that front portion looks a little strange, but it's still cool. Once I put on the other elements that I end up putting out there, it looks pretty good. Right now I'm just about to put some tile in the bathroom. I really wanted to go with something that would match the kind of chocolatey brown color, but I didn't want it so dark in there, so I actually ended up going with this little bit light tone with the darker tones also. And then I started putting the kitchen windows up. You know, I gotta do that. The curtains and the windows, of course. Yeah, I know. But I was in the curtains and yeah. Anywho. So then I ended up on the railings, which don't ask me why I ended up on the railings because I don't even know how I got from point A to point B. But then I changed that section there to match the bottom section because I figured if we're going to go with a coloring scheme, we should stick with it. And then I ended up doing some nice warm toned browns. But I wanted something different in the front there, so I actually ended up going with the tiles from Spa Day, I think, out on the patio just to kind of change it up a little bit from the decking and end up going with that instead. Then I started putting in some lighting on the porch because it was really dark out there, and again, I was, distracted. Shiny things. They make me happy, shiny things. I don't know. Anyways, so I ended up going back out there, putting this TV there instead, and doing the little lights on the side, and then making this table look better just by putting some new stuff. And then I ended up going towards the kitchen and cluttering the kitchen because I was into the clutter, and I might as well clutter the kitchen while I'm in the clutter, right? We know how I work. So anyways, then I was like, okay, this table needs some clutter too. So I was like still cluttering this table. I ended up turning that silly fairy around a million times. I should have cut out way more of that again, but I didn't end up cutting out some of that. I did end up cutting out some of me looking through stuff, trying to find stuff to put in the kitchen and both in the exterior there. I ended up hanging that picture on the wall and then changing it later just because I don't end up liking it there. So I ended up replacing it with that little, I guess that's a tapestry. And then I end up going ahead and like playing around with different bookshelves because I was still thinking a bookshelf would look really good in that corner. And then I found a bunch of custom content I could use. But I didn't end up using it. And I'm sorry that I keep breathing really heavy, but unfortunately I have some allergy issues going on, and I apologize. But I end up putting a bunch of clutter out, and then kind of putting some salt pepper shakers on the table and stuff. And then I started like trying to figure out like what I wanted in the kitchen. Because I was at a really good spot for clutter. And so I ended up pulling out a bunch of stuff that I'm going to put up in the kitchen and kind of just sticking it all on the countertops so that I could kind of clutter the kitchen and get the kitchen going. So I ended up using those things from Parenthood. I feel like those are the best clutter in the game if you don't have custom content. Parenthood is one to get if you really need clutter. Also, that kitchen set is a pretty good one for like those little canisters and things are nice to have. Another one that has really good clutter for builds is Dine Out. It also has a lot of really good clutter in it as well, which, as we know, is my jam. So anyway, I am telling you just in case that's your jam too, and you want to know which packs have the best clutter. Those are the ones that I feel have the best pieces of clutter just because they have a lot of options for the kitchen, for the bathroom, for a lot of different areas of the home, especially Parenthood. Parenthood has a lot of really great ones. I tried to get that little thing there to work, but it never did. I ended up deleting that later. And now I'm on to stacking these things, and I actually end up stacking them there, putting the countertops back, and realizing that it didn't look good. So I end up putting them in the back because they're taller than the rest of the stuff, and I really needed to kind of to put them in the back. So I do that, and then stack them on top of each other again, and then stick my counters back in there. And then I go and clutter. Oh, I was making sure it wasn't clipping there. Sorry, I should have cut that out. Anyway, I started cluttering up the rest of the build. I started putting those things in that little corner because I figure you would want your tea by your stove, and you would have your condiments maybe sitting out there, and then you would do your dishes you know, and you would have your dishes sitting out on the countertop because, you know, they have to dry. Hello. Of course, I have a little dish drainer, but anyways, those are dry dishes, I'm assuming. At least for the Sims point of view, we are going to say that those are dry dishes that are sitting there needing to be put in the cabinets because hello, we all do that. We know we do. Even if we don't, unless we got OCD or something, or we're like really, really a stickler about the kitchen. Not me. I have my dishes stacked up and we just serve ourselves right off those plates. Just, you know, it is what it is. You know how life goes. Sometimes some things are easier to do if you don't stick them back in the cabinets. So we have our own plate, each of us, and we both use those. Anyway, so right here I was looking at this little rug and trying to get that table in the right position to where the Sims could get around it. And then I started putting out the lounge chairs, which I only ended up doing 3. I thought about doing like a much larger lounge area with like a bunch, but I figured, you know, not many people are going to have a ton of people over, I guess, unless you're having like a giant pool party or something. So I figured 3 was plenty. I ended up putting this lighting on the corners of the pool there, and I don't like them, so I ended up changing them to like inside pool lights. And then I end up putting in the little glowing ones from Spa Day. I end up changing the stairs a couple of times. I don't remember why. I think because I didn't like the rusty look. And then I end up changing those to like a purple color because I liked that. I thought about doing a purple color inside the pool, but I ended up not doing it. I'm forgetting to do it. So I think I just end up going ahead and moving towards something else. I don't even remember what I was doing here. Oh yeah, I started accenting the sides of the build with different pillars and things. And I ended up going with a different larger pillar because I feel like it looked like it would support the weight much better than those smaller pillars did. So end up doing that, and then end up getting a nice little area going and a nice little motif, and then I put in some invisible fence there. That's that tiny fence that is just like a border basically. And then I start putting in some trees on the side there. I ended up playing with different trees. I had like a ton of them. I actually stuck a bunch of them of even live edit objects in there, and then ended up not using any of those and going with those trees there. And they're not evenly spaced, I just realized, but you know, you'll survive. Fix them if you need to. I can only do so much in my builds, you know. I can't be perfect. I wish I could. If I was, this would be another conversation, because you guys would just be amazed at my builds, you know. I would be somebody like, what's her name, Mermelade, who does like the most amazing builds I've ever seen. Yeah, that's not me. I'm like an eclectic, not great builder, so you're welcome. Sorry about that. Anyways, here I'm putting on some stuff for some like lattice on the side of the house because I needed something. That front just looked kind of bare, and I felt like it needed something to kind of bring it out. So I ended up doing that, and then making some creepy crawly stuff climb up it. On the side there, like some plants. I also end up putting a lot of these island living plants down here because that area needed something. And then I end up putting that border around the edge there and getting rid of the rocks that I was going to do, because I ended up not liking the rocks up against that kind of tan tile. It didn't look good. This area was very complicated, and I ended up putting a ton of bushes there. If you were to go into the build and like look at how many plants are there, you'd be like, oh my god, why'd you put so many? But it was because I was sizing them down so that they wouldn't clip, and ended up with like thousands of them, I swear. So then I end up kind of correcting this little area here and just making that to where it'll do that, and then putting in some hedges along the front of the house there, and then have that, oh nope, jump to the back, I forgot. Yeah, and I'm just kind of jumping around there. I'm not sure why I left that in the video. Probably just didn't notice because like I say, I was getting tired when I was starting to edit. Anyways, in this corner, it needed some extra stuff because, like I say, I was really trying to put a bookshelf there, but it wasn't working. So I ended up putting this little plant in the corner, and then the little canister there with the flowers in it, and it turned out cute. Here I ended up going through like 6 different chairs, and then like totally like cut that out because it was like, oh my gosh, this video is forever long again, and I need to cut some stuff out. So I did that. Cut all that out, and then started working on this area over here, where I put in a couple of different tables, and then end up moving the tables from over there and putting some other stuff like a shoe rack and a couple other things over there. I don't remember exactly what I put on there, but I actually end up, that little possum thing ends up going away, and I end up putting a cat there, I think, and then some bills on that shelf there. And again, you see me messing with the kitchen. Imagine that, messing with the kitchen while I'm in the living room. How did that happen? I don't know. Just, it is what it is. So then I put this painting up, and I really like the way that painting looked in there. Yeah, even though it doesn't really match the color scheme, I felt like it really kind of was something different that looked good in there. I actually ended up adding the purple one too. With a brown mirror on the other side there. You see it's there, and then I'm going to actually put it over there where that painting is, and then size those paintings down and make them much smaller. So there, I'm doing that now, and then I'm putting that over there, and then that's when I add the little shoe rack next to it, because I just felt like that would be where you would put your shoes when you came in the door, because you would put your shoes there. At least I would, because I have a little bin right by the door that we put our shoes in. Anyways, I moved that table around a little bit and ended up putting it right there, and then putting those pictures on the side there, like I was saying. Ended up putting something else in that little corner, but I don't remember what. Now this bathroom, I ended up moving every single piece around this bathroom. So I ended up cutting out like 95% of me making this bathroom, because it was like probably 10-15 minutes of me just moving stuff around. So you'll see in a second, 30 minutes later. Yes, that's what happened. Anyway, and then this goes on for a little bit as well. I should have really cut probably more of that out and just had it be like what happens once the 30 minutes was up. But anyway, so I think I'm almost done. I just kind of turn this little, there we go. And then move that. And then I clutter up those little shelves that I created between the sink and the thing there. I thought that was kind of a cool look, and did that. And then I think I ended up putting a bunch of pictures on the walls and some mirrors and stuff off camera as well, because I realized when I was going in and taking the actual photos of the build for Sims Resource, where I'm going to list it, I realized that I had forgotten, and also for, the video at the end, I realized I had forgotten to put anything in that bathroom, as far as, pictures and stuff. Also that I had a little towel in the shower that shouldn't have been there. So I fixed all that. And then I started sizing stuff down, and then I think I ended up going upstairs next. Yes, I ended up going upstairs. And I put in some drawers, and I really like those drawers, even though they don't really match the stuff downstairs. I figured it wouldn't matter because they're kind of separated. And then I start like just kind of setting stuff out like I do. Finding a few things. I felt like that corner would just kind of be a corner where they would put a couple of things, and they wouldn't really put a lot of stuff because they would have to get back there to get to it. So I didn't put a lot in that corner. And then I went over here and made a little like office space, to kind of give them a place to kind of, do whatever. You gotta have the computer in The Sims. You can't not have a computer in The Sims. Like, it is a requirement. That and an artist thing. I mean, come on. We all know that those are the two easiest, besides growing stuff, that is like ridiculously easy. You can see there I have outlets. Why don't we have these in The Sims? Like, where are they? I want to know. EA, where are they? You have clocks. You have like a million clocks, and no light switches or outlets. What the hell? Sorry, excuse my French. Anyways, back to me cluttering. Just kind of cluttering the build, and you'll notice that I start to speed up a lot of stuff. So that's like me setting out a bunch of stuff. And I just kind of sped that up because I'm like, nobody needs to see that much. You know, if they want to see me put out this clutter, fine, I'll put out this clutter. And if you watch this video and you feel like, you know, you could cut this down a whole bunch by getting rid of stuff like that, just, you know, make a comment and let me know, hey, you know, maybe you should cut some of this out, and next time maybe I won't put it in there. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't really know. Not sure if I listen to comments or not. I can tell you, don't listen to haters. If you hate, go ahead, but it's not going to matter. I'm still going to do what I want to do. Anyway, I am kind of setting that up and getting it settled, moving everything around. I end up moving stuff around a couple of times. I end up cutting some of that out as well. Gosh, I just keep saying cut out, cut out, cut out. Just keep cutting out, don't I? Anyway, I ended up doing like a brown accent wall and then making the rest of it the same color as the brick in there. And then yeah, I put back in my accent wall because when I did that, and then I made this like a light tan and I made the bathroom match. Then you see me play with my custom content because I so wanted to put a custom content bed in here. I really did. I really did. But I ended up being a good girl and putting in the right bed, the bed from, I think that's the one from not Spa Day, but the Snowy Escape bed, and then finding some end tables that kind of match it a little bit. It's not the actual ones that go with it though. And then those are from, gosh, I don't even remember where those are from. That's that camping one. I don't remember what that one is either. And that one's from, I really like those fig photos. I really wish they'd come in another pack because I don't like very much of that pack, the Strangerville pack. That neighborhood's weird too, by the way. Those people are weird. I don't want anything to do with them, and I have to play through that in order to be able to do my haunted stuff, and I've been trying to do that, but I don't like it. Anyways, I'm trying to get through it as fast as I can so that I can do my haunted with my guy. I forget his name, but I haven't played him in a bit. It's been a while. I've been playing the Wilsons a lot lately. Trying to get them through their careers and get their money situated. Anywho, I'm also doing the 100 Baby Challenge with my Miss Chambers. So we're going to see. She's already had one baby. It's been interesting. Anyways, we'll see how many more she gets. You know, she's got the longest lifespan she can have, but I don't know if we'll be at there. Anyway, she had a boy, so tragic, so tragic. Anyways, we're trying to get her pregnant again. She's found a new boyfriend, Marcus, and her and Marcus are doing the little canoodling, and we'll see how that goes. Anyways, in this bedroom, I kind of wanted something kind of calming and kind of male or female. I just felt like, you know, this bedroom would kind of be for both Sims. If you had two Sims, and if you didn't, then you would want it to be kind of neutral so that you could do a male or a female in there. So I ended up doing that and then moving to the bathroom and going ahead and putting in some counters, just the basic counters that come with base game. And then I just end up coloring them, I think, black. Just kind of a basic color. It's a very basic bathroom, this one. I think I end up putting the fancy, I forget which pack that's from, mirrors in there, and then I put a bunch of clutter from Parenthood, and I end up fast forwarding through that pretty quickly, I think. I think I ended up doing that cluttering at like 1,000 speed again because I was just trying to get it over with. Because like I say, I'm tired and I just wanted to get this video out before I forgot to finish it, and you know, wanted to get it finished tonight so that I could get some more content on my channel, because right now I have none. So anyways, I kind of fast forward through that a little bit. I don't even know if you can tell, but then I end up going ahead and going out and doing the patio next. And then after that, I kind of just finished up some touches off camera, moved around the mailbox, fixed the front where I forgot to put along the fence line some stuff, and then end up going ahead and fixing a few other things. Also put in some lighting and put on the creepy crawly viney stuff that grows on the side of the house on that thing there. It took me a while to find it. I actually had to look for it because I forgot where it was at. And then after that, I kind of just do the back, and then that's it. I'm done. This is the build. This is 242 Tompkins Way. Yep, this is it, folks. I end up putting out some stuff on that patio and getting it all nice and pretty. And then now you'll be able to see the final build. I hope you enjoyed this video. If not, okay. Leave me a like or comment, and have a wonderful day.